Today we're making a just egg copycat omelet with some tempeh bacon on the side. So first you're going to get a bowl and place some brown sugar or maple syrup in it. I was out of maple syrup, but I will say I prefer using it. And then you're going to add in some coconut aminos or soy sauce, liquid aminos, anything like that that you have, and some liquid smoke. I know I'm crazy. I have a whole gallon of it, but it's really good for a lot of things. I love liquid smoke. And then some type of balsamic vinegar. I have this savory fig stuff, which is super tasty, but you can definitely use regular balsamic vinegar. I'm just using what I have in my pantry already. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of nutritional yeast as well as some paprika and some black pepper, although I forgot to show that in the video, but I did add black pepper to the marinade. And then I'm going to stir that up. I am trying to break up the clumps of the brown sugar. Another reason I prefer maple syrup. And then we're going to get our tempeh ready. You can use any type of tempeh you like. Sometimes I buy the kind made out of chickpeas, but this is regular soy tempeh. And you're going to place it in a Tupperware container and add your marinade and just let that sit for about an hour while we get the rest of our stuff ready. So now that that's marinating, we're going to get our mung beans ready. That is the base of our omelet. Now, because I forgot to soak these overnight, I'm going to add them to a bowl and pour hot water over them. But if you have the time to soak them overnight, it's definitely better. It's also better for your digestion if you find that beans make you a little bit gassy. But I'm just going to soak them this way with the hot water for about an hour, and it still comes out really good. Then we're going to start to cook our tempeh bacon. So place a little bit of oil in a pan on medium heat, and you can add all your tempeh pieces to your pan. Don't throw away that excess marinade. We're actually going to use that in a little bit. So just get all your pieces of tempeh in your pan, and you're going to brown them evenly on both sides. And one great thing about tempeh is that there's no risk of undercooking because it's just made out of beans and they're cooked all the way. Once you brown them on the other side, you're going to add the rest of the marinade into the pan and kind of let that cook off for a bit. It creates a really nice glaze on the tempeh. Once it's cooked off about halfway, you're going to flip your tempeh pieces one more time and then let the rest of the marinade cook off until it's kind of very sticky and thick. And this is what the end result looks like. It's very nice and glazed and delicious. Then place the tempeh pieces on a plate with a little bit of oil on it because these tend to be very sticky and they can be difficult to get off the plate. I speak from experience. But then we're going to get our veggies ready for our omelet. Go ahead and oil your pan up and add whatever veggies you want. Personally, I love mushrooms, so I'm adding some mushrooms, and then I'm going to add in some white, or I think actually that was yellow onion, but use whatever you want. With omelets, there's a million different combinations. Now I'm going to add just a dash of water so I can deglaze my pan. And then I'm going to add some spinach at the very end and just kind of get that to my preference of doneness, because once we put our veggies in the omelet, we're not really going to cook them anymore. So just cook them to the point that you like and just set them aside. Then we're going to get our omelet ingredients ready. Go ahead and drain your mung beans, place them in a blender, and then add in some unsweetened plant milk of your choice. I think I'm using soy milk here, but any kind that you like is going to work. Just make sure that it is unsweetened. And then we're going to add in some nutritional yeast and some turmeric. Yes, I'm adding turmeric. Some garlic powder and some vegan chicken stock seasoning, which is salty, so I'm not adding salt to this. And as well as some baking powder. Helps with the fluffiness. It makes it really nice. And then I'm going to add in some potato starch, which kind of helps it bind, kind of helps with the consistency of it. I like it a lot. And then we're also going to add in some black pepper, as well as some sea moss gel, which I'm obsessed with, but it does help the omelet bind kind of nicely, so I do recommend it. And lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of hot sauce. Then I'm going to blend it on high until it is super duper smooth. That might be there are varying amounts of time depending on what type of blender you have. And then we're going to go ahead and cook it the same way we pretty much would a regular omelet. Just pour it in a hot pan with a little bit of oil. And one thing that I do like to do, which is different from an omelet, I guess, is after it starts to cook and bubble a little bit uncovered, I'm actually going to cover it with a lid. And this kind of steams it and, in my opinion, helps with the texture of it. So you're going to put the lid on and cook it for a couple minutes. And then we're going to flip it. And unfortunately, I really need a new nonstick pan. This pan really sucks. So that's why it looks like I'm struggling to flip this thing. But I promise if you have a decent nonstick pan, it's not difficult at all. But yeah, then we're going to flip it and go ahead and put your choice of vegan cheese on it. I'm using Violife cheddar shreds. Super delicious. And then I'm going to put the lid back on so it can finish cooking, and also it will help the cheese melt. So we take the lid off and it looks nice and gooey there. We're going to add our vegetables. And from there, you're just going to fold it over and your omelet is pretty much done. It's pretty simple, and this stuff keeps really well in the fridge, so you can make a whole bunch of it all at once and just use it throughout the week whenever you want to have a nice, delicious, high-protein breakfast. We're going to put it on a plate and add our tempeh bacon slices. And that's it for this recipe, guys. We have a really nice, like I said, high protein breakfast. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you do try this recipe, I would love to know what you think of it because I think it's super delicious. Oh, and if you want to be fancy, you can sprinkle some parsley on top like I did right here. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys.